You're watching DIYNate. If this is your first time here, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can be alerted to my weekly content. Alright, today on DIYNate, you're getting a look at my messy workshop, and today's project is Dyson. My wife is complaining that it now won't work. I'm guessing it is clogged. She's telling me the base here will spin, but up here she's not getting any suction, so we're going to take a step through that one. Alright, so let's get to it. I've got a Dyson here that is one that my wife uses most, and probably the most expensive of the vacuums that we have. So I'm going to take this guy and we're going to take a look and see if we can figure out what my wife is complaining about, figure out what's wrong with it. Now I can see all, it's got the, I don't know if this is the rides on a ball, Dyson DC40. So we're going to test it out and see just what she is experiencing. Oh. And you hear kind of that vacuum challenge. So you can kind of hear what I'm dealing with there. I guess I'm going to have to get into the innards here. So first things first, let's just take a look. You know, the old start with the easiest solution here. I'm not even sure exactly how this thing works. Clearly I don't spend a lot of time with it. There is a process though for pulling this guy off. So we know once you get the filter off, probably a good thing to look and just see what you're dealing with in your filter head housing. This thing's got all kinds of pieces, and I am not following any instructions as far as troubleshooting this, so I'm kind of learning as I go here too. It says important 1 month filter, which I'm sure we way exceeded that. I know we're doing anything of the sort there. For a second here, take a break. Alright, so we've been able to open this. You can see by pushing this head, I've now opened the filter canister to just kind of see what I'm working with here. There's a little bit of sediment down in the bottom, and something in here says important, change the filter or wash the filter once a month, which I'm sure we are not doing. And so we'll just take this guy out a little bit more, see what exactly we can take apart here, so that we can get to kind of see if we can see what's clogging it up. So we're starting with the filter, even though there's a good chance there's something else going on here, probably more significant in the bottom part. So now I've got the filter separated. We'll probably wash this filter out at some point. I'm probably going to Google the instructions on that. So now we're down to that. Another thing I've got a shop vac with me if I need to use that to kind of see if I can figure out what's causing the suction gap. And so we'll probably take a look here. I'll show you something else that I'm not exactly sure how this works, but you can kind of see there's this little flap here that closes and opens. It's got some debris in there, not a ton, but enough to be you know, probably something that could use a good rinsing. So we'll take a look at that. We'll also check, just kind of see where our tubing goes, because these vacuums, a lot of times something gets clogged to the tube, and that's the simplest answer in a lot of cases. So we're going to try that out as well. Well, this comes off, and you can see it's got the wand feature, which it seems great, and I'm sure it is. Just had a penny shoot out of there, so something was clogged in the top. Might have some more stuff to clear out in here too. Could just be a function of tapping it and seeing what we can get to come out of there. Oh yeah, you can't see this, but a pretty thick ball of junk come out of there. So just tapping again, see what's going on with that. I'm guessing as we stretch this vacuum hose out a lot more, man, this thing's got the size. Did not know we had something that could do that length. That's pretty great. Kudos to the makers of this thing, because that's pretty great. I'm guessing I can probably even detach somewhere from here, which would be great, because I think I'm going to find my suction issue. I can actually see straight through here. So now I've at least got one obstruction cured, and looking down here, I can actually see a pretty good shot all the way down into the tube here, so that tells me I've got another obstruction that I've cleared. And I'm going to run it and just see what happens. Might be a bad idea, so don't necessarily take my advice for it. So I know I'm not getting any suction here. I am getting some up top here, so that's interesting. I'm going to try it one more time. Suction is strong with this one, so I'm hoping that may be part of our answer. We'll find out soon, and we'll take a look. Alright, so while I'm doing this, I'm doing a little bit of a tune-up as well. There's some gunk in here that I can clean out with a flathead screwdriver pretty easily. So I'm just gonna tune that up a little bit, make sure all that dust and debris is getting loosened, so it won't be around for the long haul. Hopefully that'll help the operation, kind of keep the machine running a little more smoothly. So now that we've done all that, what'll be interesting to see is what the driver is on the front here. We'll take a look from the underside as well, because it'll be interesting to see if there's anything that's choking this or causing it to not do its normal thing. And I'm sure there's some step-by-step instructions on how to take the base apart here. Just see if there's anything that's causing it to really hold up. A lot of times you get hair wrapped up in here. Screwdriver, a pair of scissors or something would be really good to just free it up and get it back to a fresh life, so that if something is choking it, causing it to misbehave, you can figure that out. And I'm sure we all have animals and hair and all sorts of other fun stuff that can clog up your vacuum rotor on the bottom here. Purchased out of the factory. A little bit up into the guts here. That may also be another place where things can clog, right there. Pick up there's a pretty good chunk right there of debris that was hanging out there. So now I've freed up two fairly significant sized chunks. Again, that may not have anything to do with what a real clog is, but it very well could as well. And my wife thought she cleared a lot of the debris out of this thing, but that would have been one of the ones that would have been right where the intake is for the vacuum. So if it's not able to, if the rotor can spin, it looks like it's trying to work. But if there's not a way for that to get through into the pipe, then you know that you could be fully clogged there. I'm sure there's a release button somewhere up here. I'm going to look for that in a minute. All right, I'm going to give you another up close and personal here. You can kind of see what I'm pulling out of this thing. Sorry, a little shaky video here, but you can see that chunk of debris right there. That's pretty quality heavy duty stuff. So we'll take that, drop that over there. I'm pretty sure there's another way I can get in here, get a little more in depth on it. But I know right now, at a minimum, I have some pretty significant clog going on right up here. You can kind of see me just chiseling out of there. Probably built up over the years. It's probably tied into where the suction would and should be happening. So that'll certainly slow down your effectiveness. Hopefully when I put this thing back to work, my wife's gonna be thrilled with it. It's gonna operate like our new vacuum. Because man, look at that. A Band-Aid in there or something, yuck. Ugh. All right, a piece of paper or something. So nice little arsenal of things coming out of the innards here. And again, how much that's actually having an impact to be determined, but man, look at this guy. Another pretty hefty chunk of dirt. Now I believe either way we're gonna need to wash this thing down somehow. Whatever it says change every month, we have not been doing ever, and I'm sure the prior owners, our in-laws probably didn't do it either, as rightfully so. Nobody's ever gonna maintain your vacuum on a monthly basis, but if they recommend it, probably a good time to do it at least once every couple of years. All right, so After a quick YouTube search from some other folks, thank you all on YouTube. Part of the reason I love YouTube and love being a part of it is this tells me there is a clamp here that needs to be separated. You want to be careful not to break it, but this little guy right here comes off. Now with that, you'll be able to, I believe, gently, carefully lift this part and pull this part off. There's a hook on top. I'm trying to make sure I don't crack anything, but I think we're going to find our problem right up here. Let's see here, there should be a little hook. Whoops, crash. So now you've got that whole piece out. So you can see right here, there's some dinginess in there, and I probably have freed up quite a bit of what was there since it's kind of in between the two spaces. However, by comparison, let's take a look right here. And this is the innards of what's going on. So you can see that clog right there. I'm excited because I'm actually going to use a vacuum on vacuum fix. I'm in my workshop. You can imagine I've got several vacuums to repair today because we've required them over time, and I finally got around to it. But a shop vac is really handy for things like this because ideally you just suck it right out of there. So we're going to go hook up our shop vac. I've got my master plug that I'm going to fire up in my my workshop. Please don't judge me based on my workshop. It's very disorganized. Flip my power on to my shop vac, and I'm ready to vacuum this thing out. Vacuum on, vacuum solved. We'll see what happens. That works pretty well now. Alright, so as you may or may not be able to observe here, there is actually a bunch of white chalky powder that's kind of accumulated on the tube or the tunnel here that I'm going to break up with a screwdriver. Not because I need to, but you know, at the end of the day, this thing has been around, it's been running for a long time, and probably got some powder or corrosion or just some dirt that was picked up and just sat there. All right, we're really getting after it here, cleaning out the insides. You can see this kind of white powder that's caked on here over years of use. Again, like I mentioned, I'll use my shop vac to clean up some of the mess that I'm making, just because, you know, I figure that'll help me clean it out. Nice and looking good. There's another trick here too. Some people are going to run into the issue where you got hair and all that stuff clogged around the side. So you can take these little side red things here, little tabs, pop them open, and then the whole contraption will open up for you. You can even see down here, I've got a lot of dirt jammed up in here. So I was kind of taking the first approach, so I was working on this, was freeing it up from the one side. Then I realized there's probably an easier way, and there is, which is just to, you know, open up the whole thing. And then I'm not trying to, you know, get after it too much, but I definitely think that's what was causing the problem. The block was right there at that gate right there. It wasn't able to do the job it needed to do. So that is going to fix my wife's problem. I am confident. Doesn't have to be perfect, and I'm certainly not needing to. It's ultimately picks up dirt. I'm going to clean it out a little bit more than I have been. Give it a good look, and we'll probably run that shop vac over it one more time to make sure we've gotten whatever we can for now out of the way. There's definitely some particles in here that are a little hard to get to them if you like. We're going to hit it again with the shop vac. You can imagine too, this seems like an easy fix. It really is. It's one of the easiest fixes I've had in a long time. And, you know, but think about how many people would just trash a vacuum when they thought something like was broken and just go buy a new one. Man, this is such an easy fix that I hope everybody, you know, takes the time to repair your tools and equipment, because, man, that's so easy. You'd hate to know people are out there, you know, giving up on their nice vacuums because they just don't have the how-to handyman skills. But I guess that's our game for all those who like to work on stuff like this. You know, I know you can get a lot of benefit from people giving up their tools and equipment like that. So snap this guy back together. You're just gonna pull him into that little hook there. Make sure you're lined up. On point. Maybe you can pull back a little bit. So now push that guy down. Now hooked on there. And come back with our collar fitting. Latches right on. Looks like a brand new machine here. I'm sure it's gonna hum as we get it together. So I'm sure I will have a happy wife for this, and that is always a good thing. Put this guy back together somehow. Hopefully I can remember what I did here. I'm going to check out my other video also on how to clean out the inside of this guy, because I'm pretty confident I'm going to want that done as well, since it has some kind of clear instruction about cleaning every month, and I'm confident we've never ever done that. So it's probably a good step to also take while we're at it. Check. Gas. Okay, there's also a piece I've separated back here. A little bit of space right in there. You probably can't see it very well, but right in here, there's a hose that I've separated with a little red latch. Red looks like the color that Dyson uses to tell you to, hey, take that and pull that out. So I'm sure I'm gonna have to get in there a little more to get it back out. So I might have created some work for myself that was needed. You could separate that little red piece right there and get in there and do some extra cleaning if you'd like. I think I was well fixed beyond this point, but you know, why not get a little deeper in there? Also, I have removed the filter out of the top side here. This filter just comes out of this top section. So you pop this little guy open right here. You take the filter out, and then there's a little piece that goes on top of it. I wasn't doing this with one hand, it'll be a little easier, but you can see this little top piece just goes on top of here. Take it off, and then we're gonna go rinse this guy down after I take some instructions on how to do that. This filter, there's also a side filter here. Again, using a shop vac, you can use other ways. I've seen other people clean it out and tear the whole you know, part around and use a screwdriver to get in there. For me, I think you're most likely going to be clogged at your top filter, your bottom filter, and those hose pipes are probably your biggest thing, and your roller, your brush spinner thing. And so up here, you know, with a shop vac, unless you see it's really caked in there, you probably don't need to go too crazy on that part. So now for this part, we're going to actually just take off the filter here, because this is actually part of the monthly cleaning process. So what you'll see, I'm unscrewing here, laying it on its side. It's a 24-hour cleansing process. You take it out, you wash it, rinse it off a few different times, knock out the dirt, and you're going to then, you can see, just simply as twist it counterclockwise. Pretty caked on there. So we're going to rinse it out, as well as this filter. We'll wring this filter out, and then we'll let it sit out for 24 hours, let it dry, we'll come put it back together, and our vacuum will be like new again. So I'm sure my wife will be really happy. Plus, I cleaned out this interior area with the shop vac, and then we'll come back and clean the rest of, kind of wipe it down one last time with a Clorox wipe or something like that. So get the idea of what we're doing here. It's pretty good. So all in, we're gonna be like having a new vacuum again. All right, so they recommend letting it dry for 24 hours. I noticed mine, my filter stayed a little wet after 24, so I left it for a second day. They've dried for about 48 hours. They're much drier now, but probably still could stand to dry out even more, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and put them back in at this point. After a couple days of waiting, we let it dry out. We're gonna put our filter back together here. And so we're gonna take this filter and we're just gonna adjust it back on. Make sure we get everything lined up the right way here. Everything snaps back together nicely. There we go. That's just a little bit of a turn there. Everything lines up, so we're good to go. And we're going to take this little ball here. We'll spin this guy back on track. So in good shape here. You guys see me working that. And we're just really putting our vacuum all the way back together now. I think this thing is going to run like a champ shortly. So after we get it all put back together, really just a matter of making sure you remember all the pieces and parts that go back together. We got our filter, dropping this in the tube here, putting the head assembly back together there. Put this guy to our canister, assemble the bottom back on the canister, put the head back up here. A lot of this is just trying to remember exactly how it was beforehand. So snap this guy back in some form of fashion. There we go. So now he's all locked and loaded. And we're going to lift up our vacuum here. Everything's looking good. Put the pieces back together. Allow it to go back in place. It's really just a matter of locking it in place right there. Now, let's try them out. See how these look. But let's make sure vacuum up with the good suction going on anyway. So something I wanted to check out, it seemed like at first my roller brush here wasn't spinning, and so now I actually am seeing everything is good to go now, and our brush is working, doing exactly what it needs to do. So the vacuum is fully up and running, and my wife is ready to give it another try. So I'm sure she'll appreciate having this ready to roll for her. So project complete. Hopefully this got you up and running with your Dyson. This is a DC40 model, in case you're wondering, and I think it's rides on a ball is one of the catchphrases, but there's your Dyson DC40. In case you had this vacuum, or probably many of the other Dyson vacuums work just like it. All right, so I'm gonna do a quick recap so we make sure we got it all covered. So what I dealt with, we had a clogged roller brush area. A lot of pressure was building up in the base of this area. So what we did, we actually separated from the bottom side here. We actually first cleared out here. You probably didn't even need to do that if I had just taken this off first. Once I took the head off, this brush head, was able to clear that blockage that was really down in this part of it. We also took out our filters, one from the top and one from the side, and we cleared those out. We checked the hose line back here, made sure there was no stoppage in there. There were a couple dust bunnies that were sizable in there as well. And then we also gave it a good thorough clean out on the inside. So those are just some of the ways to really get your Dyson DC40 really back up and running and into good shape, kind of give it a tune-up. And again, that it's got a note to change your filters or wash your filters once a month. We've probably done it once in 6 years, so at the same time, you know, you probably want to do it a little more often than that. But at least now we're back up and running with a good, ready-to-go vacuum, and I know my wife will be pretty happy about this. All right, so thanks again for watching this DIY Nate video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my videos.